Getting everything set up for y'all. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Waiting on Mr. Dwight to come on in here to the chat. Joker, it's going all right. Just waiting on Mr. Dwight Green to get in here. And we're going to get him on. What's going on, Josh? Welcome in. Hope everybody's having an awesome Saturday. Everybody's having an awesome Saturday. All right, it just glitched on me. So if I froze for a minute, I'm sorry, you guys. But this is why I usually get on here to get all this out of the way. Yes. So, yes. So I just gonna let you guys know that when Dwight comes in here, any kind of bowling ball related questions will be put to the side for the time being because we're going to be interviewing him. Hey, Patrick, welcome in. So just waiting on him to come into the chat. See if I can share it with him. See if I can find him real quick. Yep, there he goes. Send that to him. All right, he just messaged me. Was thinking about getting merch manager blackout. Yeah, like I said, no problem on the questions. Just when we get to the end of the podcast, we'll take care of that. That won't be a problem. Hey, Bill, welcome in. Hope everybody's having an awesome Saturday. Thank you for the hat and mustache, Curtis. I do appreciate that. So I did send the invite to Mr. Green. And as soon as I see, yeah, like the other day I was, I had to abruptly get off. What's going on, Jason? Welcome in, buddy. I'm doing good. Just waiting on Dwight to come on into the chat here. And we're going to get him on here because we are on episode 17 of Calling All Bowlers. Thanks for sharing the live, Curtis. So, yeah, appreciate you guys hitting the live or the like button. And old Joel's in here. What's up, buddy? Welcome in. I sent him the invite here, so as soon as I see him in here, we're gonna get Dwight on. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, Joel? Welcome in, brother. I think you guys are gonna enjoy this episode because Dwight's, when he filled out my itinerary, my little outline. There's a lot of good stuff he's got right here. A lot of good stuff we got going here. So. All right, he just messaged me, so hoping he will come on in here and we can get this thing rocking and rolling for y'all. But no, It's going to be a good show. Appreciate all the likes. And there he is. There's our man of the hour. Let's get him invited in here.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Green.
How you doing? I'm trying to get it to show the
Good.
video. There we go.
No, ain't no problem. I sent you the invite.
There we go. All
There
right.
we go. What's up, Mr. Green? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing as good as I could be. Today was a really busy day, so I've been
Hey,
dealing with some work stuff and then just been trying to keep myself busy.
there we go. All right. Well, like I said, I was getting everybody in here, and they started hitting me up with the bowling questions, and I told everybody, I said we're going to push those to the side. I'll get those taken care of at the end of everything. May even get your thoughts on a couple of them if you want to do that towards the end there.
Hey, I'm all for it.
I like that. So first and foremost, everybody, welcome to Calling All Bowlers. This is our 17th episode. And I believe this is the 14th or 15th state I can officially mark off. I'm going to have to start getting like a map of every state that I've interviewed somebody in. So
That's what's up.
definitely excited about that. And yeah, we got us a little special guest in the chat with old Joel, Mr. Hoodie Bowler up in here. So
Okay,
I
what's up?
appreciate you showing the love, Joel. But want to introduce everybody. Everybody knows him as Go Time. Otherwise, I like to call him Mr. Green, the man of the hour. I appreciate you joining me this evening, and I'm glad that we could finally get the dates in. And I know I was a guest on you and Geeks show about a couple of months ago, and that was an awesome experience. That was like the first time I was a guest, and it's kind of weird going from host to guest and guest to host. It's just one of those things. So, but why don't I'm going to turn this over to you. Tell everybody, for those that may not already know, there's always something we probably don't know about you. So take it away, Mr. Green.
All right, no problem, no problem. So pretty much, I am Go Time. Everybody knows me as Go Time. From New Orleans, Louisiana. Currently reside in Mississippi, Biloxi, Mississippi to be exact. So you can mark two states off if you didn't. Anybody of you from Louisiana. Um, one, my bowling career started when I was like 10, but it didn't start here in the States. It started overseas. So I actually had international experience when it came to the sport of bowling. And no, I run stream bowling. If you guys haven't heard of it or if you've seen it throughout TikTok, that is my baby. That is my thing. We do pretty much online challenges. The idea came from a bunch of TikTok bowlers that said, hey, let's do something exciting. Let's have a challenge amongst TikTok bowlers and go from there. So it started off as that, and then it kind of grew into a whole lot more where we're not just doing TikTok, we're doing Facebook, YouTube bowlers all across the nation. Another thing you guys might not know about me is I recently had a cleaner approved by USBC. It's called RevTech Pro. So that is definitely one of the best things I think I've achieved so far in bowling. That's pretty much it. I'm not a really complicated guy for the most part, and this until I get to my challenges, then I get complicated.
Well, you know what? Talking about that, you just got a cleaner approved. So take us through that whole process. Like, what was it like? And, like going through it, just take us through the steps. And when it finally did get approved, like, how did that, what was the end game with all that? How'd you feel about it?
So the process is long. It's very long. I sent it in. It took about a month and a half, maybe 2 months. Now, what they require of you is very simple requirements. I actually thought it would be a lot more. They require want $100 fee for every type of cleaner that you're going to submit, and then after that, what they're going to test is whether it leaves a film on the ball and whether it changes the hardness of the ball. And they test it on plastic, urethane, and reactive resin. Uh, so the process is just waiting on them to go through the testing. Now, once I got it approved, man, I was on cloud nine. I didn't know what was going to happen. I felt like this is like surreal. Like, how did I end up doing this? Now, how I came up with the cleaner is quite funny because I got tired of buying cleaners. So I was like, I looked at the USB-C approved list and I said, what things can I put together to make a excellent cleaner? So I found a few items and I said, okay, let me mix these things together and see what I get. Tested it for about 8 months myself, saw results, and I was like, okay, I need to get other people involved. So I have quite a few testers. I know you know Mr. Geek, Patrick
Mm-hmm.
Roper, Black Swan, a few other people have all tested it just to see what they think of it, what they actually do, because you don't want to send something USB-C without actually thinking it will work. No,
Mm-hmm.
so no, yeah, my opinion, I'm gonna think anything works because I'm the one that created it. But getting other people's opinion about it is really what matters. Like, hey, how does this work for you? And I think that's really important part is getting other people to try it out. And the feedback I got from a lot of the people testing it is like, man, this stuff works. Like, can you tell me what you made it of? I'm like, no, but I can tell you that it's made out of stuff that is already approved for USB-C use. It's just that I don't know if it's been called altogether. Lonnie, it's called RevTech Pro. Patrick, if you can write it down in the chat, or I'll get to it later, but it's definitely called RevTech Pro. No, one thing I can say about it is like bowling ball crack. It literally is like, I want to say new ball carrying a bottle. Because somehow it restores that reaction you get when you first buy the ball, and then it brings it back and it keeps it there, and it makes the ball super tacky, and it gets it very very clean. No, and the results I got back from USB-C kind of shown that like it gets down deep in the ball, kind of like CTD stuff. The only difference I can say between our stuff is theirs is mine smells better. A lot of people compliment me on the smell, like it smells so good. And I'm like, yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to do because most smellers, most cleaners, like, you don't think about it. You don't think, oh, I want to enjoy cleaning my bowling ball. Most of the time, it's got a weird smell to it or a chemically smell. This, when you spray it on there, it's like you feel like you're cleaning your house. It's like it smells wonderful. It makes you want to throw the ball. And then from there, it is definitely just it's just phenomenal to see it work. I don't know if you know Mr. Tony Miller. He's a gentleman that purchased them from me, and he shot 2,300 since using it. No, and that's amazing to see those type of results. And I've seen other people shoot high scores with it, and it's like, is it what's really just going on? I was like, I think it just really is getting the pores so clean that you just get that like new reaction. Because no, nobody can disagree. When you buy a brand new ball, the best time to react is that first time when you throw it. So if you can get that in an actual bottle and clean your stuff to get that consistent reaction, that helps your scores, that helps your confidence, and that actually helps you want to clean your bowling ball because a lot of people don't want to clean. No, they want to say, hey, okay, I'll let it go 3, 6, 9 games. No, us who are really good at cleaning it and saying, I'm gonna make sure I clean it every time. We do that. No, we get that same performance, but there are a lot of us who don't. They don't think of cleaning as being a part of it. And to answer your question, it's MayaDB. Yes, it is out on the market. If you go to revtechpro.com, you can order it. That come in two sizes. They come in a 2.7 ounce and an 8 ounce bottle, and I directly ship it to you. And shipping costs will be included in the price when you actually order from the thing. And then also I have stream merchandise on there. My actual company that I use with running the challenges, there's merch on there as well for that. No, but the focus is the cleaner. It's really just getting it out there. And it's like I said, it's like Cloud Nine to say that I actually created something for the USB-C for the bowling community that got approved. Like, when my wife told me that I got approved, I didn't even check my email that day. I had been checking it for like a week, over and over, like no response, no response, no response. But I'm looking like, dang, they're probably not going to approve it. And it was on a Monday, and she was like, babe, it got approved. And I was like, okay, wait, what got approved? I'm like, they get approved for a credit card. I applied for no credit card. She was like, not a credit card, you idiot. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Your stuff. It still didn't dawn upon her. What stuff are you
Yeah.
talking about? She
You
was like,
forgot
your
about it.
stuff. And she was like, I'm like, oh. And I came over and ran a look and saw the email with the USB-C logo on it. They had the logos in the packet for me saying use these logos and put it onto your logo for USB-C approved before and after. And I was just like, I had to take like a minute just to look at it, and it was just in disbelief. But
Right.
it was a great feeling. It's a really great feeling. And no, like I said, like Mosquito said, it is a good cleaner. It is nothing that's going to harm anybody. It's
Yeah.
before and after use, so don't use it during competition. No, but if you constantly use this stuff, you will see great reaction on the lanes, and it is. I can't take it no more further than there. It's just it works. That's the slogan. It works. No, I had a ball that I thought was dead. I think it was a power torque. Couldn't get it to move consistently. Nothing. Cleaned it with that cleaner. It came back, and I was like, okay. That's at
There
that
you
point
go.
is when I decided to just hey, let me get this to USBC and make sure that this gets approved. So that's the story behind RevTac Pro.
It's kind of like a buddy of mine here. He's a mechanic at the center I work in. Um, he wrote a book. He went out and went to a publishing company and got it all done. And, it's out on Amazon. And, all of us here, we bought a copy. And, it's just like one of those things, you look and you're like, this is what you did. Like we kept telling like none of us here have had a book published. So I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of people outside of, outside the manufacturers that we all do know of, like yourself, who says, hey, I made a cleaner and it works and it's USBC approved. So congratulations, Dwight. That is phenomenal to hear. And, anybody's got any questions, just message Mr. Green here and he'll get you situated because we're all about supporting each other here in the community. I wanted to take a look
on TikTok shop. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take your advice on that.
Well, we get on here. We all know we're bowlers, to some degree, skill set and everything. And, we're going to get into the whole bowling discussion with, how I sent you the itinerary for it. But we want to kind of go into a little bit of the non-bowling related stuff. It's kind of like at some point before we became bowlers, we were all trying to do other stuff. So, why don't you tell us this, Dwight? What did you want to be growing up when you were a kid?
That is a very, very good question. If anybody is familiar with the movie Top Gun, that had a lot of influence on my life. As I said before, one thing people don't know about me is I'm a military brat. And my dad was in the Air Force, did the Air Force for over 20 years. And we lived on a base in Italy for a long time, like 6 or 7 years. And there was a fighter base. And I've gotten to sit in F-16s, F-15s, hear them literally fly over my house, day in and day out whenever something went down overseas. So I originally wanted to be a fighter pilot, but I also like basketball. Believe it or not, bowling was not my first love when it came to a sport. It was basketball, and I was very good at it. So it was between those two things. I was either going to be a basketball player and make it to the NBA, or I was going to join the military and become a fighter pilot. No, that was my two loves. And I love everything aviation. Like every time I get a chance to fly, it's like I'm giddy like a kid all over again. And the same thing with basketball. My third son, he plays basketball. So once, I heard he was interested in sports and that's what he wanted to play, is like, oh, I get to kind of relive childhood over again. So yep, that's what I wanted to be. Either NBA player or a fighter pilot. No, honestly, I might have tried to find a way to do both. I might try to find a way to do it, but I think the more practical one would have been a fighter pilot because I was just around it so much. I've seen every type of plane there is fly above my house, and I can identify them from 2 miles away just from the sound. So it was like that was just something that being a military brat and growing up around that type of environment you got used to. Most of us overseas wanted to get away from that. Because it was tough. You moved every 4 years. You didn't keep friends very long. I've known people that be there for a year and then they're gone the next. So it's definitely a tough life, especially when you're overseas and not in America where you can see, English speaking commercials and you have to kind of guess at what people are getting at. It's definitely a different experience when you're overseas. But yeah, that's what I wanted to be, fighter pilot or NBA player.
So you said it was Italy?
Italy, yes. I stayed in Germany and Italy. Italy was the last part of my dad's tour. It was in a base called Aviano. It's in the northern part of Italy, about 8 hours from Rome, I believe.
Okay. So, how beautiful is it? Is it as good as it is in pictures?
Pictures don't describe it. Pictures
It
don't
just
describe it. It's
doesn't
it's
do it
that
justice.
no. No, I when I
Yeah,
used to
because it's like whenever I think of Italy, I think of like luxury and just beauty and everything. It just that's the kind of image I get in my head. So, for you to
yeah,
confirm that, yeah.
yeah, pictures don't
So,
do it justice at all. You have to
so
see it.
when see it to believe it.
Mhm.
When did you and your family come back to the States?
We came back in 1999, right before the whole Y2K thing. Now we pushed
Yep,
back
I
that
remember
war.
that.
So we came back in
Everybody's thinking
'99.
it was gonna glitch and everything, and lo and behold, it was just status quo as usual.
Yep, I remember midnight struck 1999 New Year's Eve, and we waited for about 5 minutes, making sure nothing went off, and we was good. We was like, okay, we can go on and living life.
It's like get your head down and take your precautions and everything.
Oh
Yep,
yeah, I think I
I
stared
remember
out the
that.
window for about
I
two
was
minutes, like the
16
light
yet.
went off.
All right. So fighter pilot, NBA player, all come it comes to the conclusion that's not going to happen. So going into this is a good way to enter into the bowling related part of this podcast, Dwight. So bowling becomes a thing in your life. When and take us through the early beginnings of Dwight and the bowling career.
Well, it started when I was 10. I was still overseas at the time, as I said earlier. I was playing basketball and doing bowling, and basketball was the first love, but bowling, I found that I had a talent for it, though, because I was a pretty good shot in basketball. So the mechanics are different, but being able to hit your target and really throw the ball was really good for me. I think the very first time I shot like a high score, and which wasn't really high compared to now, but it was like I bowled a 136 my second time out bowling. Like I picked up every single spare for the most part and missed some, and I was like, okay, I think I really want to do this. So, basketball season came around, and then once the youth league for bowling started, I was doing both. Um, I my mom and dad used to bowl league overseas, and everybody was infatuated with Mr. John. Mr. John was this 6'6" tall man, left-handed, with the smoothest and highest backswing you have ever seen, like West Malott smooth. You did not hear the ball touch the lane. And when I say smooth, it was like all you just saw was the ball going away. And he was throwing a Rhino Teal Pro. We'll never forget that. And it was like we was this infatuated with this dude. All the kids was like, I want to throw it like him. Well, my dad and him, Mr. John, worked together at the same fighter squadron. So he told him, hey, my son really wants to get into bowling. He really wants to learn more. Can you teach him? So in comes learning how to hook the ball, but I was learning from a left-hander. So from there, he taught me, gave me a few tips here and there because the pro shop guy, I remember he gave me a ball, and it was a black Rhino urethane, and I didn't really know how to get the ball to move. I mean, I had an idea, but I didn't really get the idea of how to really hook the ball properly. So because what he taught me was just wrong. So got with Mr. John, and I used to practice about every other weekend with him, and he got me right. He got me rolling the ball with my hand correctly. As far as adjusting and everything, I was too young to really understand then what adjusting was. I just knew the basics. No, if it hooks more, move left. If it doesn't hook, move right. I didn't have a target. I just threw to an area. That was it. And then from there, the next year after that, I actually qualified for Pepsi, which was it Pepsi or was it Coke? It was Coca Cola back then. It was Java. It was Coca Cola. I qualified to go to. We used to go to Germany every year for the tournament because they had the bigger bowling alleys. Our alley was only 16 lanes. The bigger bowling alleys were in Germany like 32, 40 something lanes. And we went to Ramstein, which is the largest Air Force base I think in Europe. I can't remember, but it's pretty huge. It's like you drive on and you don't even know you're on the base. It's like you think you're in part of the country. That's how big it is. But we went there. I came my first time qualifying. I came in like the top 80 kids. Then the year after that, I came in the top 10. And then No, I took a year off from bowling, came back, bowled again, came in the top 50. By that time, we moved back to the States. And then from there, I actually took a hiatus from bowling for my freshman and sophomore year. Came back in high school, junior year. I was doing band. I was a band head too. I was a jack of all trades. I did band, I did ROTC. So, well, let me give bowling a try again. I still had the same 13-pound black rhino. I made it
Hmm.
work for the most part. But as throughout my career, the one thing that I always had was grit when it comes to bowling. I will grind it out with the best of them. Even if I'm doing bad, I won't quit. I will continue to grind it out. And I've kept that with me from overseas even to now. And once I started getting better equipment in my hand, scores, of course, started going up. Then I did a travel league for the first time. That was my senior year. And after that, it was like, it just kind of took off. And like, I just started off with like a 170 average. And by the time travel league ended, I almost had a 200 average. Everybody was calling me the sandbagger behind my back because they didn't understand how I did what I did. Because I literally started at 170, and then we went to AMF Kenner. I shot my first 600, which was a 666, and then followed it up with a 636, my first two ever. And then from there is like something like a light bulb just went off. It just went off, and I just started scoring higher and higher. Next stop, I shot 690 and six something. Like I just stayed in the sixes. By the end of the whole season, I had first place for bowl of the year locked up by over 1,000 points. So everybody thought I literally cheated. It was like this dude's sandbag. He's way better than what he is. I'm like, if you only knew like the struggles I had to go through just to get to where I was at, because I used to practice dang near almost every day. And my dad would bring me to the bowling alley. From there, leave. I would practice going with my coach from high school. Then I would practice again with some of the kids down the travel league. Like I practiced at least 3 to 4 times a week during that time, and it just clicked. And then from there, I just never dropped below 200. I just teetered around. Well, I teetered around 190, 200, and then once I got really later on to after graduating from high school, getting done with the youth leagues, I started taking off with getting my first 700s, and then it just went up and up and up and up. But to answer your question, Grand Marquis, I've been bowling since I was 10, and I'm almost 40. So about 30 years I've been bowling. I've been bowling for a while. Majority of the time, I might take some time off, like maybe a year or so, but I always come back to it. But it's been a journey. And then, no, I shot my first 800, I think, in 2008. It was a while
Hmm.
before I shot my first three. And then after that, it just kept on accumulating from there. On record, on USBC, I think I have seven Grand Marquis as far as 300s, I believe. You look at my USBC number. I don't know the exact. I know I've shot 10 lifetime. I know I've shot 10 lifetime. So to answer your question, Grand Marquis, 10 300s and six 800s. And I recently shot one this past October, right before Halloween. That was my first time shooting an 800 with a 300 combo. Because for the longest, my 800s are always 300 less, and I shot 300 by itself. So highest series to date, I think is 842. I went back to back 298s and a 246. Um, Dude, is it's just been a ride. No, no, but one thing I can say about my bowling career is if I knew back then what I knew now and my understanding of the sport now, I would probably be out on tour or trying to a lot more to be out there. Like even you can go back 10 years ago when I've been bowling for 20 years, I didn't fully understand the difference between RGs and differentials, stuff like that for the ball equipment and stuff. And then I knew how to adjust, I knew how to grind, but then I didn't really know how to read patterns in the way that I do now. So if I would have took it just a little bit more seriously, no, even a decade ago, I'll be a lot further in my bowling career now. But I would say God has a plan for you, and you get there when you're supposed to get there. So I'm at the level that I'm at now with the understanding of reading patterns and how to play on sport patterns and the equipment, what the difference in the numbers mean. All that is starting to come now. But better late than never. It's it's been a wonderful thing. Every time I walk in the bowl now, I'm just happy. I'm just that person I'm always supporting everybody. Unless you get on my nerves, If you're one of those people that get on my nerves, I'm definitely probably going to show it, especially if you're asking stupid questions. No, and I don't say that to be mean. I say that to be, there's no such thing as a stupid question, but if you know the answer, or if I give you help and you won't listen, and you keep doing the same thing and failing, I have nothing to do with you at that point. 'Cause I'm not going to waste my time. It's like, because if you're asking me for help and you're still not listening, and then you're still doing struggling, there's no point in me saying anything else. I'll just let you learn from the failure. No, whether you come back the next week and be stronger, that's totally up to you. No, I've learned in life that bowling has taught me failure is always an option. You can always fail because you can learn from what you did wrong. And getting to TikTok and how I got on TikTok is definitely a friend was doing it, and I was like, oh, okay, let me try it. Got to 1,000 followers, and I don't even really use it as like a tool to network with people too much. And I like the networking part. I do it mainly because my father and my mother get to watch me bowl from Memphis, Tennessee. But also, if I have a bad night, I can go back and watch everything I did wrong. So I definitely use it as a more than just a social media thing, a tool to help groom me into being a better bowler.
So when I sent you the itinerary of questions, trying to build our outline for this episode, I had asked you the question about your perspective about league and tournament bowling, and said right here, it says, I think leagues and tournaments are a great way to learn and grow your bowling knowledge. But at the end here, you say, I wish that the patterns we use would be more standardized. So take us a little bit more on that ride as far as like what you mean. You say, I wish that the patterns we use would be more standardized. What do you mean by that specifically?
Exactly that. Like, I wish USB. Remember when USBC came out with the red, white, and blue patterns, and they was like, we can use this for this, and it's supposed to help develop skills and bring bowlers, make them a lot stronger. I've always thought in my head that if I ran a bowling program, especially a youth bowling program, I probably would have some of the best bowlers in the city because I wouldn't make it easy. No, a lot of bowlers did mean house shots are cool, but every house has a different house shot. Every house plays different. There's no standardization to it. There's no set. This should be the ratio of league patterns. What I mean by standardized, there should be a house shot, which is like their rec shot they put out for open play, and then for league, there should actually be a shot, a pattern, something created to not make you not want to bowl good, but to challenge you to make better adjustments and give you better understanding. Because I said this on my show before, like the gap between us, the professional bowlers, is truly a huge gap when it comes to actual skill. Yeah, we have our bowlers who average 220, 230, 200 even. And anybody can be beaten on any day. But the professionals are the professionals for a reason. Them dudes,
Correct.
they're sick with it. I got the opportunity to witness Anthony Simonson in person at the Bowlers Journal in Vegas this past year for the Nationals. And I've seen him bowl on TV, but just to watch and how he adjusts in person, because that's what they don't show you on TV is how they go about doing things and really like how they analyze what they're doing and listening to them and what they're saying. Man, the knowledge is a gap. There's a gap. And that's because of the bowling environment. We don't bowl on really hard patterns. Some houses may put out an actual challenging pattern. I can't say that the house I bowl in right now, a lot of people are used to breakdown. They're not used to carry down. So like the first month, people were struggling because they're not used to seeing carry down. So that threw a lot of people off. But once they got used to it, of course, the scores start going up. So if there was an actual standardized pattern made by USBC or even by the house, they could send it in and say, hey, this is our shot. We need you guys to approve it. It gets approved, and that's the shot that you use, being no more than maybe 1-8, 1-9 ratio, and actually challenge the bowlers to be better and make it a little bit harder. You'll see when they actually get to go out there to stuff that is easier, their scores are going to be higher because you have that playing field that's not as easy. They have so many 230 average bowlers out here thinking they're good to go out to a sports shot event. You don't see them. But yeah, And I know
Well,
I know quite a.
it's
Yeah, go
kind of
ahead.
your point, what you just said about standardizing. It's definitely kind of similar from a different tone, of course, of kind of how J.R. Raymond phrased the whole idea of the pizza and bowling leagues and
Yeah.
stuff of that nature, and how there's too many 220, 230 average bowlers. And if anybody got a chance to see that one video he did, the comments, some of them were very very entertaining, to say the least. So, but I see where you're trying to go with that, Dwight, and definitely. Uh, I think if you're in the right area of the country, I think you'll get some backing on that. I can personally say here locally, that's not going to happen, unfortunately, because as somebody that runs tournaments and tries to do sweepers and such, I could put out 2 to 1s, I could put out 1 to 1s, I could put out 10 to 1s, 12 to 1s, and I'm averaging 11 or 12 entries a week,
Hmm.
and it's very unfortunate here, and I know that that doesn't happen in different, places in the country. Like
Oh
where
yeah.
some people say, well, scratch doesn't really work, but you can throw handicap in there, you might get some people. And everybody and their brother knows how I feel about running anything with handicap. We're not going to go into that. We know how that is.
Yeah.
Um, but I definitely like your idea of the standardized. So I really wanted to get that out there and kind of get that to explained in a sense to where we all can understand it, because, again, perspective is everything when it comes to this.
Oh yeah. I
So
100% agree.
let's move on to here. So you talked about TikTok, how you got started there. I think you told us a couple of your goals. Like I said, you did RevTac Pro Cleaner, which is freaking awesome. Again, congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, let's go into the other big thing you got going on, which is stream bowling. Take us through that whole storyline. Tell us how that how that was an idea in your head, how you projected it out, and of course, where as big and huge as it is now. Because I recently, about a couple months ago, got into your group on Facebook, and I was
Hmm.
like, "Holy cow! Like, this is amazing."
Yeah.
So take us through the whole story of the beginnings of stream bowling, and of course, maybe kind of any kind of like any bumps in the road, and of course where we're at now.
Oh yeah. Of course. I mean, it started off as an idea. It was between a few bowlers on TikTok, um, and it was like there should be a way we can do a challenge with each other with the lives, because with lives like we are right now, I could talk with you, you could talk with me. Why not have we have an actual live bowling challenge? Well, I've actually done one of those. I won, of course, but my mind, it's more complicated. It's like, how do we take this and actually make it something? No, a lot of people say that they're going to do something or they want to do something, and it's like, but where's the action behind it? And I took it upon myself to say, hey, look, I think this would be a really good thing. No, but how do we make this work? Okay, so I just said, you know what? Let's hit the gas and go. Let's just do it. So it started as a group of friends from TikTok. There was about 40 of us in a group, and it just grew to about 45 people. And it was like, okay, we didn't get all 45 to participate, but we did talk about ideas and different things we can do. So it started off, I think the very first challenge we had was an eliminator challenge. And it was just, how do we make this work with us all being in different parts of the country, not seeing each other physically, but actually getting the scores, getting everything in, and then now just like putting it and posting it and doing like a really fancy video and getting everybody to say, get hyped about it. So in comes the eliminator. I figured I was like, okay, well, look, we we all use our phones. We all are on it all the time, doing this all day. Oh, I like this video like that. Why not take a picture? Take a picture of your scores, send them in. They're like, well, how do you fake? How do you know if they're doing it? Well, I mean, you can do a tag on a picture and see when it was actually done if you get the right picture. Like, but we're not betting any money. Why would anybody want to lie about how they shot? It is what it is. It's all just testing. So for about 6 months, that's what we did. We came up with different challenges. I think the first was an eliminator. Then we had a mystery doubles. We had a pick your crew, which was we had like basketball, old basketball style, where you're on the yard and you have two captains and they pick their team. So this was a similar concept to that, where we had people pick their teams. I think we had 4 different teams, and we went at it. Everybody got to post their scores. We sent our scores. We wrote them down, and then after that, we made a video, posted it. I think it's still on my page somewhere. The results from that particular video, but it was like it grew and grew and grew. And it's like, okay, these things are getting fun because we had a method, we had a plan of how we get the scores, how do we collect everything from everybody without too much hassle. So I'm like, all right, my mind was thinking forward. How do I make this bigger? How do I actually turn this into something for everyone? Because these 45 people are enjoying it. So if these 45 people are enjoying it, how do I take it from there and get more people to enjoy it? So I was like, okay. I had a Facebook page. Before that, I also had another podcast called All We Do Is Tim. That one ended, unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances. But I had a page that I had for like 3 years that was supposed to be an auto enthusiast page because I'm a car guy. I love cars. Never did anything with it. It just sat for 3 years. I turned it into the All We Do Is Tim podcast page. Things fell out, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to change this stream. And I sat around and thought about it for a while. What does stream stand for? It's like, because we stream bowling with our cameras and stuff, it could be an acronym. What does it mean? Well, for those of y'all out there, stream stands for strategies, tips, reviews, entertainment, and more. So we live by that motto. On the page, I'm also a certified coach. I believe Geek is also certified. We have a few other certified. There's also silver, bronze. And I think we have one gold certified coach and others who are coming up to train. So that's the strategies and tips part. No reviews. We haven't got there yet. No, but I do plan on getting there somehow. No, I don't know how, but I'm definitely going to find a way to make it to where somehow we get picked up by some company. I don't care who, be it Bowlers Mart, be it McCorvey's, or even if it's a brand like UBA got picked up by Storm. Hey, you guys are part of this. Why don't you review our bowling balls? That's when their reviews part will come in. But then we have people who ask questions about bowling balls too. So by us having coaches certification, we can't answer those questions. And I got that idea from CTD with the coaches. No, but the only thing I didn't really like about it is that you have, like, I'm pretty sure you have been bowling for 30 years. I think you've been bowling for almost as long as I have. You have people who are knowledgeable in the sport, but are not coaching certified. No, that shouldn't mean that they shouldn't be able to help somebody. No. So I kind of took that. I was like, well, let me make this I want my people to be certified, but at the same time, anybody can answer a question if you know the answer to the question. No, one thing I don't promote in the page is negativity. No, if you've been on the page and you see there is nobody at all being negative towards anybody, towards any comments or anything, because I don't play that. No, if I see it, I immediately get rid of it and I get rid of you, because I'm building a community where everybody's being positive to build each other up. There's so much going on in this country and in this world for us to try to tear us down. And one thing that bowlers do a lot, and especially in person, we have bowlers that tear each other down. And for what? No, nobody should be tearing. We should be all working together to build each other up. So that's the main motto of the page is we're positive, we're going to build each other up, and we're going to help people become better bowlers. And in doing these challenges, back to the challenges, they actually do help, because I always said my motto behind it is if you're constantly in that mindset that this is a challenge, this counts, this is a thing that I have to do good for, regardless if I'm winning anything or not. If it's like a switch in your head, then when you get out there in real competition, you could turn that switch on and still have fun doing it, because there's a line between having fun and being focused. And a lot of times if we get super zoomed in and focused with blinders, we're not having fun. No, we can say we're as bowlers, we love the sport. Oh, I love it and I have fun. But when we're dead serious on trying to win, all that fun messes out the window. we're trying to get every single strike, every single spare we can. So trying to make it fun is the entertainment part of the stream. So that's why none of the challenges are actually normal challenges. There's some type of twist. Like you, I don't believe in handicap. I don't. I believe it's a scapegoat, and it doesn't really. It helps to a certain extent, but some people use it actually as a handicap, as a crutch, and don't make themselves better. No, stream, we're not about that. We're about making yourself better by challenging yourself by bowling against bowlers who are 230 or high. Because you never know, you surprise yourself how focused you can get. Some of them, some high average bowlers in their mind, I know I can do this, and they don't try any harder. But that 180 average bowler, I'm bowling against this 230 average bowler. Hey, I got to come with it. So all that is just to build up the mental strength for a person to actually be ready for a challenge.
So I like what you just said there about the 180 bowler going against the 230 bowler, because again, any given Sunday, right?
Yeah.
That philosophy. So I bring this to the table because I was reading a comment on Facebook the other day. It was a news article. Notre Dame had beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and now everybody that's lived outside of the SEC is now all of a sudden like, oh, the SEC is not what it is. Well, another person took a perspective on it and said, ever since Saban retired, it's kind of lowered the standard of trying to be the best. And I know there's a lot of people that are going to be like, oh, here comes Michael with his Nick Sabanisms and everything, because everybody knows I'm a fan. But case in point, I bring that to the table because of this, to reiterate your point about, with the handicap and what have you. We both agree handicap it's a crutch. I like how you said that. But another thing about it is like, unfortunately, in today's game, I call it a necessary evil, because it's like you said, there are genuine bowlers out there who are your 160, 170, 180. I'll even go as low as 140, 150, and so on and so forth, that are truly that are working towards getting better. And I think that the problem started with you got to a 200 average really quick. And what happens when you achieve success quickly? Mm-hmm. That translates to you thinking, or us up here thinking, okay, well, we're there, and we're not there. And instead of like, I came up in the era, like I said, we've been bowling about the same amount of time, Dwight. We came up in the era where it was like 190, 200. I mean, we were getting on kind of like the end. I would say we're in the reactive revolution. Excalibur came out, and that just changed the game, of course. But the scores weren't that. They were getting, like, the honor scores were really hitting the boom, but we were still on that end where we weren't really seeing 300s. And it was like 2003 when I shot my first 300. That was like the third Huntsville youth to shoot 300. So it's from that perspective of that level of appreciation, and it's not as apparent as it is now. And I believe, opinion only, you could give me your thoughts of agree or disagree, that the success in achieving success too quickly is a disadvantage to the overall tell of the tape, if you will.
Oh, absolutely, because it builds a false sense of security. It makes you think that you're secure in yourself, and you're not willing to learn past that, because, like you said, you believe that you're already there. No, I've seen bowlers, and I get this, a lot of the bowlers that I know from New Orleans, a lot of them don't like bowling against me. And the reason why they don't like bowling against me is because I don't give up. I'm not the highest average bowler there. I can admit that without 100%. Can I average 230? Oh, yes, I can. But it's never worked out for me in that way. But when it comes down to grinding it out, I'll grind it out with the best of them. And then whenever the shot is hard, I notice those same 230, 220 average bowlers are nowhere to be seen. I'm normally on top. And I found that quite weird. A lot of times, when we went to a travel stop, when TCBA was a thing. I don't know if you remember TCBA, but huge travel league. And we went to this one stop where the oil machine was completely, it was crap. It was crap. It didn't oil the lanes right. Every lane was completely different. And we had about 9 games on that. I think my shoulder hurt for about 2 weeks after that stop. But every set, I was high. I was high in the whole house of 20, 30 teams. I was high. I think I went 660 the first set, I think 650 the second set, and then third set I got the bowl again. I came out with like a 630. Nobody was close to me. And I thought that was weird. It was like, why is it that everybody's straight? This is me. Yeah, it's dry as hell, but I shouldn't be the only person shooting this high. I'm expecting the people with the 220 average, 230 average to be shooting with me, if not higher. When I got money back from the eliminator, I'm like, what's this? Oh, you won. What? How I win? They must not be here. Oh, they here. What's going on? Oh, well, they struggle. How? It's like that mindset they have that they're that, but when they get to a hard situation, they can't bowl. It's a crutch. It's definitely it's an Achilles heel. It will take you down out of there. And that person who's hungry, who's at 180, 190, and nowhere near you, they're going to find a way to succeed and beat you. And I think that's another reason why I want things to be standardized, is because that takes that whole mindset out of I'm better than you because I have a higher average. I'm gonna say I'm better than you because I know I can outgrind you. I'm never gonna say that I have a higher average. No, now if I see a person, if I have a 220 and you're at 180, it's obvious. Yes, I'm doing better than you. But does that mean I'm a better bowler all around? You could be going out there practicing. I can say right now, I don't practice like I used to. I know people out there right now, 180 bowlers right now, practicing 3-4 times a week. Come out there and they can shoot 300 or do whatever and consistently bowl well. No, I'm living off of mental game right now. My physical game is not trash, but it's definitely not as good as it could be because I don't go out and physically practice. No, there are 180 average bowlers right now who I can say right now their physical game is way better than mine. Way better because they're out there doing it, because that's where you get the knowledge from. Only thing I can do is I can outthink a person into a situation because I'm studying it all the time. But my physical game, I could say, I can't repeat shots all the time like I need to necessarily. Sometimes I do something very stupid, and it's like, Dwight, you know you messed that up, right? So, oh, you struck. In my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I got lucky as hell. Yeah, oh yeah, I struck. Yeah, but it's definitely a mindset difference, and I wish that more higher average bowlers would take that position and help guide the lower average bowlers up to where they're at. But nobody likes competition, so they don't want to see the lower average come up because that's a threat. I already got to deal with these other people that's close. I don't want to have to deal with you too. So I don't believe in that. I believe in help that person get up because you never know where they're going to go. They might end up being bigger than that, and they can say, you know what, this person took me under their wing and taught me. And this is why I'm at right now because of this person taking the time to show me things that I didn't know as a 180 average bowler. Now I'm over 200, and I'm doing things that they're doing. And that's one thing I love about Stream is Stream has a lot of bowlers who started off as 170 bowlers, 180 bowlers, and are now averaging close to 200, averaging close to 210 because of challenging themselves against bowlers who are better, challenging themselves against people who they know and they don't have a blind chance of winning. But hell, we're bowling for fun. Why not try? And they find out something about themselves. I can outgrind you. And if I can outgrind you, then I can beat you. So I definitely agree 100% with what you're saying. Like the high average bowlers, a lot of them, depending on where you are too. Some people are humble. Bowling up north is definitely different from bowling down south. I know we're both in the south. We're different down there. No.
That's the thing. Like, this is what I tell people all the time. It's like, hey, I'm averaging right now in the house I'm in. I'm bowling one night a week. I'm averaging 232, and I'm third, fourth high in the house. And the difference is like, because you got that perspective, like that aura about you when people do see, they look at that number like, oh my goodness. And my answer is the same every time. It's like, hey, I average 230 in one house, so I'm just your certified house hack. That's just how non-serious I take myself. And sometimes that non-seriousness is taken as being full of yourself, if you will. And it's like, no, guys, trust me. I even tell people right now for my skill set and what have you is like, if you take me out of this house right now, I'm definitely not doing that because again, I'm a realist. Like I know where my confidence level is right now. And it's one of those things like if you are hurting, like I said, I just came off over the break over my knee giving me fits and what have you. So, it's just like being able to recognize real is completely the goal there. So with that being said here, Dwight, let me get here to this part. So I asked you also, we got a lot of stuff here that one thing I noticed about it when you filled out these questionnaires for me, you got a lot of goals, man. And I love it. Like I love goal oriented and what have you. But one of the things that stood out to me about this, and I want you to talk about this, um, you are looking overall for stream bowling to be known on the same level as inside bowling. And like that right there, I actually showed it to a friend of mine last night. I showed him the answers you put, and he looked at me. He goes, "Hey, Flanagan took him a long time to get inside bowling to where it is now." So let me ask you this: for this right here, you wanted to be on the same level as inside bowling. Where did that goal come from? Like when you're putting the whole thing together.
It came from knowing that I offer a different product. No, everybody does the trios, the doubles, the challenges, and stuff like that. They have their challenge, which I love watching inside bowling. No, I plan on bowling one of their events next year, the Nightmare Doubles. I actually think the concept behind it is a really good idea. And what he does for the bowling community and providing something high end, when I mean high end, high entry fee, high reward for bowlers to bowl is, I think it's awesome. No, but looking at inside bowling and looking at what I do is stream is we offer different type of challenges. No, our challenges are not the normal type of bowling scene that you would see. Like our newest challenge we're about to have come out right now. We call it the Gauntlet, and it's literally it's if you think of old day gladiators. No, it had the gladiator show, and you had one person coming on there and challenge all the gladiators. Think of it like that, but for bowling. But instead of you're trying to run the gauntlet, you have to beat one gladiator per game. So it's not like it's our team, a stream team, the admins versus the actual challengers. It's the challengers versus the challengers. Who can get the most points? Who can run the gauntlet and actually beat all their opponents and get to the end? And they have two sets to beat. So they have to beat six different bowlers over 1 week using the same scores. If you lose once, you're out. No, but if you win one game, yeah, you get points. But is there anybody that can run the gauntlet? Yeah, we have some good bowlers in there, but any given day, I can say right now, my stream admin, I think I only have one bowler under 200. One. And the bowlers that I do have on my admin team are monsters. They're quite confident. Very, very confident bowlers. I'm not if you're familiar with Dr. Sue, Miss Segura Wheeler. She's on my admin team. As far as also, I got Geek, I got me, Josh Justice, who is a monster, Patrick Roper, who is another monster, you know, Derek Parsons. Like I have people across the country in my team that can show up and show out with anybody. So, but it's not about us. We have an admin call out that's about us versus them, but we just wanted to give something different. So the fact that we're looking at bowling and trying to make it fun and make it different, I believe some of these challenges are definitely going to be something that people want to see done in person. And then from there, I'm streaming it. So if I'm streaming it and people are watching, they're going to say, "Hey, what's that? What is this that I'm seeing? This is not normal. This is different. But this is bowling, but they're doing something different. Why are they doing this? What is that?" It's going to intrigue the mind to think, "Hey, this is something new. Like this is what we need in bowling. It's not the same old bowling all the time. 'Cause we love bowling, but something to bring a difference to the game." We even had another challenge, which I like to bring up, is I call it trees and doubles. And the premise behind it is pretty hilarious because if you're treasonous, you turn it against your country. So in blackjack you get the hit and you can add another card. Well, in this case, after bowling 6 games or 3 games or whatever you want and however you want to set it up, you can opt to get a different partner. You came in with one. If you want to commit treason, you can change partners to somebody else and go on the rest of the way and see what happens and see if you get a better hand. But if you don't, you're going to pull from the group of people that commit treason. Now, here's the kicker: you can end up with the same person you just try to commit treason against. Could you imagine the tension And that Pitt's like, you just kicked me to the side and I got to bowl with you. I don't feel like bowling with you, but it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. And I think that's the difference is I'm offering something that's different for bowlers to bowl. It's not the same old stuff. It's something different that people enjoy so far that I'm understanding. I mean, our first three challenges this year or that we did for when the season started over, we averaged over 100 bowls coming out of each one. That's not even paid event. Those were free events. No, we did our first paid one a few weeks in November, but we did it right before November. I mean, before Thanksgiving. So that was kind of a bad time to try to do our first paid one. But we ended up giving away three bowling balls, actually four, one for a charity for veterans, and then three for the three winners for the three different divisions that we had. And we plan on doing more like that because in order for us to grow, we got to start having things that people want to do. So people want to win bowling balls. They want to win equipment. So I said, let's go ahead and do this. Let's start having prizes. Let's start having things where people could try to win something instead of just bragging rights. Because bragging rights go so far. But yeah, I mean, I've won out of all the challenges we won. I've only won one, and that was with a team of two other people carrying me because I had a bad week, like a really bad week. But the overall fun is what it's about. To present something to the world that people are looking at and saying, you know what, that looks like fun. I'm going to want to do it. No, and not just to bring in old bowlers, but bring in new bowlers too. Because I just got my nephew, and he's a basketball head like I was. He's in bowling now because of just watching the lives that I have and then seeing my stream bowling stuff. And it's like, hey, this is something new. This is something different. So that's the goal is by presenting something different to bowlers that's not like what they've normally seen, but it's still fun. But at the same time, once we get prizes involved, you can still have fun getting that prize. So it's a goal. I know I don't see it happening overnight, but then again, I'm a firm believer in God, and what God has for you is for you. If it happens, it happens. Do I see it happening overnight? No, but I'm definitely gonna work my hardest towards it.
Well, it's like I always tell everybody on here, it's 1% better every day. It's more than achievable. More than achievable right there. If you just, like I said, little bitty steps at a time. And it's the same thing when you're learning how to bowl. We all came from a background of where we were beginner bowlers, and um, oh, okay, I see what happened there. But we all came from a background where we were beginner bowlers, and we built ourselves to where we're at now. So it's all about climbing the proverbial mountain. So no, like I said, you're bringing a fresh perspective to things, Dwight, and that's one of the things that's just really cool. And again, like I said, so you coming up with stream bowling, you're trying to make it as big and get to the level of inside bowling, which is just absolutely fantastic. You got a cleaner, you're bowling some of the best sets you have this season. So, dude, it's just amazing stuff what you're doing, Dwight, and I'm here for it, brother.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Let's get here to here. We're gonna end this on a couple of I've kind of kept this, and I probably since I did it 2 episodes ago with Miss Gloria, and then the last time I had an episode I did it with Miss Maya, and I'm kept it in here, and I want to get your perspective on this. Biggest life lesson you've ever learned? Uh
That was me. I had wrote that down.
oh.
Biggest life lesson. Where is that? Biggest life lesson. Where did I write that down? Because I had to print this out because I'd be forgetting what I say. Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah, that is definitely it. It's your circle does not have to be big to have an effect. And no, I live by that because I'm not a person who has a whole bunch of friends that I can talk to or go to. My circle is very small. I mean, I have about 1,500 people on my group for stream, and out of that 1,500 people, only 14 are admin and mod. So my circle is very small, and when it comes to how many people I have helping me do this, but it's not the amount of people that help you get it done. Is what they bring to the table, the quality of that person, the what they are and who they are, that helps build what you're looking at. And they see your vision and help you achieve it by doing what they do best. So I can say that even in life, I have a few amount of friends, but those friends are friends that I can go to and actually, hey, ask advice, especially for like bowling stuff or stuff like that. I got people I can talk things out with. No, but my team for stream is just they're the perfect example of that. No, we've gotten to 1,500 people in less than a year. No, that's crazy because when it was the other page, when it was all we do is 10, we didn't even break 150. It was stagnant for about 3 months. No, and I decided to make a move, make a change, and head in a different direction. And then I got Geek on board, and from there, he was like, he believed in what I was seeing and what I was saying, and not just him, all the other people on my team. But he is definitely one of the biggest factors. Is he talked it up, and Patrick Roper too. He talks it up. They talk it up a lot, and then next thing you know it, I had set the page to certain notifications, and the page just kept growing and growing and growing, and the community is getting bigger and bigger, and it's like, hey, this is turning into something. No, we hit 500, and once we got to 1,000, it was like, okay, this is really becoming a thing. No, people are really seeing this and really want to be a part of it. And I'm not doing it with a huge team like talking about. I'm doing it with 14 people. No,
Hmm.
and out of those 14, Geek runs his mouth the most. No, but it's amazing. It's amazing that no,
I
out of
laugh
four,
'cause you're right.
it's the truth. Geek
I
talks. Geek
laugh
can
'cause
talk,
you're right.
and man, they just help out so much. No, and even one of my students, DJ Smooth, I used to coach him when he was in youth league. He talks it up down in New Orleans. I talk it up here. And people once they get on and they see what it is, it's like, hey, I really like this. This is really something. So I just take that in life. It's like I don't need a huge circle to make an effect. I just need the right amount of people. Um, Best life example of that is Leonidas and his 300. No, at the end he did lose, but it wasn't the losing that was the biggest effect. It was the effect he had on the other army with just 300 people. No, you could do a lot with good people behind your back. So no, for those of y'all out there, if you think you need a team of a whole bunch of people, just no, you just need the right people. And if they have the same vision as you, if you can do the work of 10 people, imagine somebody that can do the same amount of work you can. And another person. So in four people, you can do the work of 40 different people with four. So you don't need a person or a whole bunch of people to do it. You just need the right people. And I live by that. It's just, you can have a big effect with a small circle. And from there, I mean, even a bowling ball is not a big circle, and it sends the
Hmm.
paint everywhere. You know,
Hmm. I like
no
that. I like
person
that.
shooting basketball makes a shot, winning shot. The crowd goes wild. you
We,
know, it's
when we do
definitely
our when we do our 1 year anniversary show for DGAP podcast, I'm going to use that. I like that.
mhm.
Your bowling ball is not that very big, but it makes the pins go everywhere. I like that, Dwight. Dude, that's good stuff right there. All right, and I wanted to ask you this because this looked like really short from how you answered it, so I want to kind of give you the full of this. But best advice you were ever given and from who?
From my wife, and she says, "What you do, you and what you do matter." And that's the best advice ever because no, we as people, as human beings, aren't perfect. No, we're not born perfect. We don't do everything perfect. We're not made to do everything perfect. We make a lot of mistakes. No, but in our lives and in what we do, no, depending on who we are, and even if, like I said, with a small circle, what you do and who you are matters to those people. So, like you and what you do matters to the people and your followers and how they're doing and your friends. And then, no, same thing with what I do. No, bringing the challenges to people. I mean, every time we announce a new challenge, it's like bells go off. Everybody's like, "Ooh, eyes open, let's go." Or it's like, especially when I'm posting it, it's like, "Hey, we got a new challenge," and it's like this to get that reaction, from people, and it's not just what we're doing; it's you as a person. The best salesman in the world is not a salesman that can sell to a bunch of people. It's a salesman that can get people to like him. People buy from people that they like. No, and people do for people that they like. So if what you do and what you do matters to people, they're always going to be there to support you, no matter what it is. No, hey, I got this new thing coming out. Hey, I'm there for it because I like you and what you do matter. So that's definitely the best advice I've ever gotten from my wife is what you do and what you do matter. And it's the truth. I mean, it's for everybody. We all have a purpose and a point to live this life and do something for real. And we matter to somebody. No, so and then what we do matters. And I could just live by that.
I like that. I like that, Dwight. That's how to do it. Um, it's kind of like I don't know. When I came up with that, honestly, I came up with that 1% better every day after I read a book, and I kind of just ran with it. And then all of a sudden, it's like you said, like you do something, and then all of a sudden it gets eyes on it, and then everybody wants to be a part of it. So, but speaking of being a part of something here, I'm going to take this time right now. Dwight, plug in all your social media that you're on, so the people that if they're not already following you, not just on here on TikTok, but on like you said, Facebook, anywhere else, plug it here, my friend.
Will do, will do. I'll take some time to type that in. Also say it. No, y'all can follow me if y'all haven't followed me on here as GoTime85 on TikTok. No, on Facebook I'm Dwight Green. I don't, but I do have a Go Time Bowling Academy. So if you guys need virtual lessons or anything like that, because I am a self-certified coach, level 1, going for my bronze very soon. But definitely look me up on there because I have that page, as well as also my stream page, which is the biggest thing that I work on. But I'm gonna type this in there. So let's look up Go Time 85. Forgive my phone. My phone is old and is slow, so it's like when I pull up letters, it's definitely not working as fast as some of these new phones. So yeah, Go Time 85 is my TikTok, and then also we have a YouTube. YouTube is Stream Bowling. Just type in Stream Bowling. That's one reason why I picked the name too, because it's very easy to type in, and not many people have that name on YouTube. And we currently have like 140 followers on there, which I didn't even know when I got to 140. It was definitely like, hey, like, okay.
See, that's what I've been telling people about my YouTube channel is like if they do go through this whole TikTok deal, I'm trying to get everybody to flow over to the YouTube channel because that's where I'm going to really base myself out of. So you got look on there, and then there's Maya reiterating it for everybody on here. So like I said, YouTube, Facebook, you got the group, you got TikTok, and everything else. Final thought for the night, Dwight. What you you got somebody coming up to you, they're wanting to really get into bowling. How do you pitch it to them, my friend?
Best sport you ever joined. It would teach you a lot about life. And they're probably going to ask, well, how so? It's like, because it teaches you to forget the past and look towards the future.
I love it. I love it, dude. That's great. Short and to the point. I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to do my little plug in here. So, again, if you guys not done so already, please like, follow, and subscribe. My latest, I did post I posted about 2 or 3 TikToks today. I was really TikTok active. You guys will see my latest one. The new Black Widow is coming out real soon. We are doing a demo here in Huntsville on Saturday, January 18th. So 2 weeks from today, we will have that. So if anybody's ever interested in that, and you're in the Huntsville area or near the Huntsville area, give me a shout and I'll get you registered for that. But here on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. No particular order. If we're going, it's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. That's my ranking. And also, again, if TikTok does end up going away, check out Lemon8, same username. yeah. Maya got spell socks. That's not how you spell it, Curtis.
I thought that was hilarious.
Well, hey, I got to this point. Like I started doing that during our city tournament. Like we were coming in here so early, we were so tired. And I was like, you know what? This is the best time to pull out the stupid dad jokes. And Curtis's reaction is just, it caught fire with everybody. So I based it all around Curtis for that. And I said, here you are, Curtis. I got you. So, and just so you guys know, I hit him with another one about midday today. So that's getting posted next Saturday because it's always a new thing on Saturday. So, but yeah, Dwight, my friend, it has been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you coming on here, telling us about what you got going on. And dude, I'm going to tell you what I do. It's my little saying now. I am so damn proud of you, my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Trust me,
I
it is.
really am, dude.
It's been a journey.
Hey, it's still a journey. You're learning stuff along the way, and it's one of the things I've been about since I come on here with TikTok. I was like, when I really started getting serious about posting, I was like, one of my biggest things was like, are people going to take me serious when they see the beaver? But at that point, I was just like, hey, it's like I said. I told people all the time. I said I threw this idea against the wall, and here we are now. So, as always, like I said, Dwight, what you're doing, man. Cheers to you, my friend. Wishing you all the best in 2025. All the challenges that you're going to be coming up with, dude. I love your idea. I love your concept, man, and I love it for the sport of bowling, man. So I'm pulling for you, dude.
Hey, just get some more people in them challenges, man. We gonna make it work. Might have to come
That's
up there and
right.
do an imp.
See, I like. Thanks, Mark. Never disregard the beaver. All right, guys and gals, this is episode 17 of Calling All Bowlers. We had Mr. Dwight Green on here, also known as Go Time. Dwight, it was a pleasure, my friend. You guys, everybody out there, y'all have a wonderful evening. And I love you all.
Deuces.